We are fulfilling the promise by continuing to be leaders in urban programming. We think that urban organizations, social service organizations that serve the urban core have got to be calibrated to take a deeper dive. So when you look at the community outreach department, we fulfill the promise of delivering resources directly into the neighborhoods, going onto the front porches, and actually going into the living rooms. And we think that that's where the promise has got to go. Right now, the promise is too lofty for most families to reach. Hope is not something that reaches the masses of our people. So in the community outreach department, we are going right into the neighborhoods. We are engaging the families, and we're coming up with new and innovative programs that are not just leading St. Louis, but are now being looked at and being replicated nationally. So we have to be sincere in delivering the promise and not just regurgitating and existing on the surface. Our people are so far beneath the surface, and we've got to be calibrated to take that deep dive and reach into the neighborhoods, onto the front porch, and into the living room and deliver the resources. That's what makes us different.
The Cultural Arts Department is fulfilling the promise by, one, continuing to do the work that we have been doing to speak to the best of the cultural traditions, values, beliefs of people of African descent here in America and throughout the world. We maintain this facility in a way that reflects that this is a sanctuary. And when people come in here, from the visuals that they see, how we treat each other as employees, that we are about regeneration, that we are about renewal, that people can look at the Art and Empowerment mural and see that they have come from somewhere. If they're African American, they have come from a place. If they're not African American, that they are part of a human experience that has come from a place that has gone through a lot, that has contributed a lot, that has been able to renew, to restore, to grow, and to move forward. That is how we are keeping the promise.
We have an opportunity to be able to really empower folks who never have had opportunity to gain home ownership. They have an opportunity to gain home ownership. This is probably one of the unprecedented times in history where you can get in on home ownership at such low levels and be able to build real wealth. And so one of the things that always frustrates me throughout this whole process is that, we'll have opportunity, but we don't get a chance to capitalize on it. Or either we don't have the resources and we don't capitalize on it, or maybe it's a lack of information. Whatever it is, I want to make sure that our people, primarily African Americans, have a shot at rebuilding the communities that we all love and we all grew up in. I can honestly say from just growing up in the city that I value the Highland stock, I value the culture, I value the community, just like any other community would, but I hate to see the loss of some of our awesome resources in the city through the building. One of the ways that we are addressing some of the needs in many of the communities we serve, specifically our immediate handprint, is the Page Revitalization Initiative. And so what the PRI, Page Revitalization, does is it allows us to target a lot of the services that we offer around the city in one community to help that community grow in place. Home ownership rates for African Americans are at an all-time low, and we're working to definitely remediate that. There's no reason for it. All the resources in the world we have access to. We have all the connections that we need to have. It's just about taking action. So I invite everybody to take action, at least own some dirt. If you can't own some dirt, create some enterprise for you and your family, something that you can pass down to generations, because it's about that. That's how we rebuild our communities. That's how we help to offset a lot of the crime that's taking place. If folks had resources, folks had money, I think they would be in a better spot, and that's what we're working to do.
I think for the first time that we have really sunk our teeth into the workforce arena, we are now seeing it pay dividends in the community. Before we were focused on, I think we were focused more on jobs than we were career pathways. Now we're looking at not just having a job, but how is it that you are fulfilling the dream of your family? How are you taking care of your family? Does this job or does this career offer you enough where you are able to take care of your children, to take care of your wife, do some of the things that you want to do in the community, and just live life like everybody else seems to be going along living life? I think that the way we are headed now is exactly where Malik wanted us to head when he envisioned Better Family Life as this big community hub, and it encompasses employment and all of the other programs that we have. We started out, removing barriers, and we certainly need to do that for our constituents, but it's more than just removing barriers. It's what do we do after we're no longer on TANF or we're no longer on SNAP? How does life look to us then? So I think that's kind of where we're headed, and that's where we're going. With our partners in St. Louis, we've got some great partnerships established. I think my staff, I will put them up against any workforce staff in America. They work just that hard. So I think that's part of the promise that we're trying to fulfill.
I'm Miranda Jones, Vice President of Youth, Family, and Clinical Services here at Better Family Life. How do I fulfill the promise? It's a total team effort. We have some of the best youth staff in the city of St. Louis, if not in the United States of America. And we are so passionate and dedicated to the work we do because we understand that working for youth means that you are working for our future. We have the future in our hands. It is our job to make sure that they have everything that they need to have a successful and bright future. We do that through our programs, all of our 16 programs, dealing with teen pregnancy prevention, after-school programs, soccer, poetry, literacy. We feed them, we help them with their homework, we work with their parents, we make sure they have access to all of the other BFL programs for their families. We know that it's a total integrated service model, wraparound services, and that we take everything that this organization has to offer and make sure that it is in the hands of the youth and family that we serve.
Action.
Truly working with the youth makes you know how old you really are, because I've seen youth in our program from 4 years old, and now we have a group of 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds that are about to graduate. We have one young man that was in our program since he was 7, and now he's a graduating senior from Western Illinois University, and he's doing some amazing things on his college campus. I'm just so blessed to be in a position to be able to work with youth and families. We've seen some really horrific stories, and from those stories, we've seen them rise and be triumphant. We've had families that have been homeless, families that have, gotten jobs. We've had parents who are lawyers and doctors and engineers, and they come in and they have cried because of the warmth that they feel when they walk in the door, because they know that they're getting something from Better Family Life that they're not getting anyplace else. When you come in, that staff, our staff, we greet you, we love the children, we give them the discipline that they need, we make sure that they have access to good education to supplement what they're getting at school. We do everything that we need to do to make sure that our children have the best possible future, because those children are our future. They are the future doctors, lawyers, teachers, videographers, anything that you can think of. We have to make sure that we can instill in our children so that they can make sure that we are safe, sound, and protected as a nation going forward. I fulfill the promise by making sure that our children have everything that they need to be supported, protected, and cared for, because they are the future. Our promise is fulfilling the promise for all of us by working through the children, which are the future.